Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from mychartcoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some ticker symbols that were in play today. Okay, first up, let's take a look at APTO. Very nice follow through today. This was a stock that was in play for us last week, and it had a bullish close on Friday, and we were looking for a push up to 130 to the 130 resistance level, which was the high close here on May 4th. That level was hit today, and it did pull back below that level. That will be the key level to break, along with the 200-day simple moving average at 132. Notice that this 130 level was resistance also back in March, and then back here in January. And so this has been a multiple resistance level. So a break above it is going to be a very bullish development, signaling more upside potential. If it can turn this 200-day simple moving average into support, it could possibly run up to the 300-day simple moving average. There is also there'll be some resistance here around 155. That'll be a key level to break if it gets above 132. So there's a couple different patterns that it looks to me that are forming. Okay, one is a cup and handle. Notice that it dropped down, formed a cup, and then it made a higher low, and now it's formed a handle, and now it's back at the neckline. And so if it breaks above the neckline, which is 130, that should be a big signal that it wants to head higher. If it fails to break 130, then it could consolidate and pull back. Currently it's riding EMA 4 support, which is very strong. If that level does break, you could see a drop down to EMA 8. As long as the middle Bollinger Band is holding, the uptrend is still strong. It also, this could be a stretch, but it looks like a inverse head and shoulders. This is the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. And so once again, you've got the neckline here at 130. So, this is a huge level, regardless of the pattern. If there's a break and close above this 200-day simple moving average and the high close resistance level, that's going to be a major bullish development, signaling more upside potential. If it fails to break, look for a pullback and look to, as long as support holds, to reload on a dip. This middle Bollinger Band is turning into support, so it's got a good uptrend right now. It just has to break resistance to keep the run going. The red flags are you've got FASTO up here at 93, and so that is overbought levels, and then you've got RSI now hitting 69. So there's not a lot of juice in the tank, so it remains to be seen if it can head higher in the overbought power zone. Okay, let's look at ASNA. Okay, this is another stock that was on our radar over the week, from last week, and then over the weekend, and then here we are on Monday with some nice follow through, up 8%. We'd like to see RSI get above 50. It's currently at 49. FASTO is in the overbought power zone now. The nice move today was the break here above the follow through after the break above resistance and the bottom of the gap on Friday. Notice the close above this red horizontal resistance line and the dotted purple line, which is the high close resistance in the bottom of the gap, and then the bottom of the gap level and the middle Bollinger Band. And so the close above was signaling more upside potential, and then there was nice follow through today with a white candle. And so what we're looking for now is a run up here to the top of the gap, which is the bottom of this candle, and the upper Bollinger Band. That's the next target level at 280. As long as the middle Bollinger Band here turns into support, a new uptrend should continue. If it pulls back, you want to see this middle Bollinger Band hold and the bottom of the gap turn into support. That was the previous top of the previous channel, and so now you want to see it turn into support, and then this uptrend could continue. If it does bust through the top of the gap, look at the 50-day simple moving average at 313 is the next key resistance level to break. Okay, let's take a look at ABIL. Okay, this is another stock that followed through today. Very nice. It did pulled back on Friday, and so now RSI and FASTO are both in the bull zone with room to run until overbought levels. So that is good. Today an indecision candle formed. We've got this black spinning top. The long upper wick does show profit taking off of this 140 resistance level. That is the key level to break. The closing price here on the 8th of June at 140. So if it can close above that level, then we're talking about a run up here to the 100-day simple moving average at 187. If it does pull back, look for the $1 level and the 50-day simple moving average to hold. That's the big level on this chart. The candles are currently riding EMA4 currently at 107, so the chart is still really strong. This is just a pause and indecision candle, so we're looking for a potential continuation and a push through resistance this week. If it does break below the 100-day simple moving or the 50-day simple moving average and the dollar level, you could see a drop down to the middle Bollinger Band. So it's always better once a key level like the 50-day simple moving average, once there's close above it, there's 2 closes, now 3 closes in a row, you want to see that level hold, and then the share price be able to launch off this level to our next target, which is the 100-day simple moving average. Once again, there was a good volume behind the move again today, but there was the long upper wick, so there was some profit taking and possibly some dilution. If you look here at the ABIL 15-minute chart, you will see here that it closed right in the middle of the channel. This red line is the top of the channel, and so it had double topped on the 8th, and that was a signal that it was possibly going to pull back. If you look here, there was a double top here at 155, and then the share price pulled back, and then it bounced off a 95 down here. It ran back up to 145, and then it closed in the middle. And so basically what we're looking at is very tight Bollinger Bands, and the key level to hold is this 100 simple moving average at 112, along with the 50 simple moving average at 114. This 112 to 114 is a huge support level. If it breaks, you could see a giant drop down to 95 and possibly the 200 simple moving average at 86. If it holds, we're looking for a launch above the middle Bollinger Band at 120. We want to see this 140 resistance level break, which was the high from today, and then a run back up here to 155. So yeah, this chart has upside potential still. It's been consolidating in this zone, and as long as support holds, this uptrend should continue. It's got this symmetrical triangle pattern forming. Notice how there's ascending support and descending resistance. So it's currently at the bottom of the descending resistance level or ascending support level. And so notice how this is just a huge support zone. So it's really got to hold this 112 level. If it busts above this 133, it could really get moving and run back up to 155. Okay, let's take a look at MOSY. This is a stock here that was it formed a doji today. It's still in the bull zone on RSI and FASTO. So both there's still room to run. They're both in the 60s. Today a doji formed, and this is another indecision candle. The candles worked their way back into the bands. It's still holding EMA4, so the chart is still very strong. There's this gap back here, and so this is the bottom of the gap, and this is the top of the gap. And so it's been turning this bottom of the gap level into support. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see that level hold, and then we want to see a break above the top of the gap in this 100-day simple moving average at 183. If it could bust above both of those levels and turn into support, then you're looking at the 200-day simple moving average is way up here at 359. So this is a huge level here. If EMA4 breaks, you can see a drop all the way down here to the 50-day simple moving average at 112. So it's really important that support holds here. If there's a break below this 140 level, that will be a big red flag, and you could see a big drop. So if it holds 140 and then it pushes above, you could see 180 retested. If it can get above 180, then it could really get moving. Today on this indecision candle, notice that there was low volume, so there wasn't a big sell-off. There's been more volume on the up days, less volume on the down days, so it looks like people are still holding for higher levels. So keep an eye on MOSY. Check out the 15-minute chart here. Notice it's another symmetrical triangle pattern. and it busted through the top of the pattern here, and then it worked its way back in, and it rode the ascending support line into the close. And so once again, we're looking for a break above the descending resistance line, and then we want to see a break above 170. If it can do that, then it could get back above, and retest 180. There's this super light volume heading into the close, so that's signaling that it's due for a volume spike. So keep an eye out for a volume spike tomorrow. It looks like everybody was was holding into the close. The sellers and buyers have both tired. What we want to see is we want to see this crossover continue on MACD on both time frames, and you notice that RSI and FASTO both closed in the bull zone, and ADX is bullish. So the chart is wound tight here. It just needs to hold support and bust through resistance to head higher. On this chart, the 100 simple moving average is the really big level to hold here, currently at 150, because if it breaks, you can see that there's the 200 simple moving average is way down here at 108, and then you have support here, at 135. So there's a lot of downside risk if the 100 simple moving average fails to hold on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so take a look at FRZT. This was a huge follow through today. It doesn't show down here, but yeah, it closed up today like 76% or so. Really nice follow through. They have this. Where is it over here? They've got the Garfield Go thing going on over here, the Garfield Go launch. So it's this is the press release. This is the augmented reality game. Everybody's talking about it. With the it's getting the Pokemon type of response here. So this is a big multi-day run on monster volume. It's breaking out, making 52-week highs. And so what we like to do is look at the weekly chart. And so if you look at this weekly chart here, you can see it's breaking out above the key levels that we talked about in our last video. The high close here on these candles on the high close here and the high close here. If it can break above this level for the week and close above, that's going to be signal up a more upside potential, and that's going to be very bullish for this weekly chart. So we want to see a weekly close above these levels. Notice the long upper wicks on the candles. So this could pull back being Monday, and you could see a long upper wick and a close back down at 8, and then it could still be in this previous channel. So you want to see a close above a penny. If it can hold a penny and close above that level on Friday, that would be very bullish. Notice there's big volume behind the move last week, and then it's starting off with big volume this week as well. If it can turn a penny into support, you can see back here it had a giant run all the way up above 4 cents. So this has a history of multi-week runs, and so we're looking to see if history is going to repeat here. The red flag here is RSI at 95.59. So this is super frothy, and you've got FASTO at 96. So extremely overbought on both indicators. So if this does when it does pull back and it takes a pause, it should make a really nice bounce play. As long as they keep the news going and the information flowing, then it should stay in play. Okay, take a look at the monthly chart. This cleans up the weekly chart, and you can view it a little better and see resistance. So this is smoothing out the data from the weekly chart. And notice here it broke above our one level. Remember, we wanted to see a break above this candle here, and so it's broke above that. Now this monthly candle will not set until the last trading day of this month, so it's going to take a while. A long upper wick could form. It could push much higher. It's going to change a lot. So we're just taking a look at this to see where future resistance is going to be, and it looks like 2 back here is a big level. Notice it was a close back here, a monthly close. So this could run to 2 now that it's breaking above 1. Look at that as a big level, and then you've got 2.5. And if it could break above those levels, then you're talking about 4. You don't want to get way ahead of yourself here, but yeah, this is a very strong move above a penny. Once a stock breaks above a penny, you would like to see it hold that level. You want to see it turn into support. Okay, now finally we want to look at DCTH. Okay, this was the big runner last week that pulled back today. Now the pullback was good for RSI and FASTO. They're both in the bull zone now, 50 to 70 bull zone, in the 50 to 80 bull zone. They're both in the 60s. There was a bearish crossover on FASTO, so the indicators have reset. Now, a red candle did form today, and today's candle did form above the upper Bollinger Band, so the candles may still continue working their way back into the bands. The big level to hold is going to be this 50-day simple moving average, currently at 0.049. That is lined up with EMA 4. If those levels break, you could see a drop down here to fill this gap. So there's a gap here between these two candles, and so that's likely to fill if the candles continue to pull back. And many times after a gap fill, you get a bounce. So keep an eye on that zone for a potential technical bounce play. If it does drop down and it closes below the 50-day simple moving average and below the bottom of the gap, then that could signal more downside risk, and you could see a drop down here to the middle Bollinger Band. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds, this new uptrend should continue. You know that you've got to be cautious, on Finviz. They stated they only had like 85 million shares outstanding, and then if you look here and add up all the shares traded recently, you will see that it's been over 1 billion shares have traded in the last 3 days. So it looks like there's a lot of new shares have been added to the market, some heavy dilution. So just be careful out there. Our saying is that there are no bad stocks, there are only bad entry points and exit points. So yeah, these penny stocks dilute. That's what they do. You just have to know it, and you just have to be on the right side of the trade. You want to be in it when it's on its way up, and then you want to be on the sidelines on the way down, looking to play the bounce. Okay, and so keep an eye on this 15-minute chart here. This is a chart that we posted yesterday. It showed the really strong uptrend, and then notice that there was this descending resistance line that it failed to break above on Friday. Well, there's a gap up open today. Notice this black candle form, and there was a big volume bar formed. Well, they sold into the gap up open, and then notice it sold off the entire day. The bears were in control the entire day as it failed to break descending resistance, and so it closed down here with the double bottom down here at 0.055, 77 range, and so this is the key level to hold tomorrow. If it breaks below this horizontal support level, you could see a drop down here to the 100 simple moving average at 483. Notice that there was really light volume into the close compared to the big volume earlier, so volume is starting to dry up. It's going to take new buyers to push through resistance. If it fails to get back above the middle Bollinger Band and above the 50 simple moving average at 0.0684, that's going to signal major downside risk. If it breaks above 0.08, that is our big level, along with 0.0825, then it could potentially break out higher and make a run up to that 100 simple moving average that we're talking about on this chart. This is the big resistance level at 8 here, and so if this reverses and it gets above 8, then it could potentially run all that period to the 100 simple moving average at 123. This is still a very bullish chart with a strong uptrend. It's just consolidating right now. It's just the heavy dilution that has us concerned that it could pull back and possibly not bounce back again. So we'll see. It should make a good technical bounce play on a pullback. Usually these parabolic runners do. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.